The rain had been falling for hours when Arav Mehta, a travel vlogger known for exploring forgotten places, saw the signboard. It was half broken, covered with moss, and only one word could be read clearly: Ruhgarh. He checked his GPS. No signal, no road ahead, only a narrow dirt path disappearing into thick forest. Arav smiled. Perfect, he whispered to his camera. A village that doesn't even exist on the map. Arrival in Ruhgarh. After driving for another hour through fog and mud, Arav finally reached the village. The houses were made of old wood, their roofs blackened by years of rain. Smoke rose slowly from one or two chimneys. An eerie silence hung in the air. No children, no animals, just the sound of the wind. He parked his jeep and stepped out. A man in his 50s, wearing a torn shawl, stared at him from the porch of a house. "Namaste," Arav greeted cheerfully. The man didn't respond, only said in a low voice, "Greater than, no one leaves from here, Sahib. Go back." Arav laughed nervously. "I'm just here to make a video about your village. What's so special about it?" The man looked away. "You'll find out. Everyone does." That evening, Arav walked through the empty lanes with his camera, recording everything. The walls had strange symbols drawn in red, circles inside triangles, eyes with no pupils, and words in an old script. When he asked an old woman what they meant, she just muttered, "Protection, from them." "From who?" he asked, but she closed her door without answering. At night, while editing his footage, Arav heard a whisper, a soft female voice calling his name. Arav. He turned around. No one. He opened the window. The fog outside had turned thick as milk, and somewhere in the forest, a humming sound was rising, like chanting. Curious, he grabbed his flashlight and camera and followed the sound into the woods. The temple. After walking for 15 minutes, he found it. A ruined stone temple half buried under moss. On the front wall, he saw the same symbols again. Inside, a mirror stood in the center of the floor, dusty and cracked. When Arav wiped it clean, he gasped. The mirror didn't show his reflection. Instead, it showed people, men, women, children, staring at him silently. Their faces were pale and their eyes hollow. He lifted his camera to record it, but the mirror's surface rippled like water. Suddenly, the faces began screaming without sound. Arav dropped the camera and stumbled back. From behind him, he heard footsteps, slow and heavy. He turned around. Nothing. Then the voice whispered again, closer now, almost inside his ear. "Greater than, you shouldn't have come here." The light from his torch flickered. The last thing he saw before blacking out was a shadow crawling out of the mirror. The morning after, when Arav woke up, he was lying in his jeep. His camera was gone. The villagers surrounded him, whispering. The same old man who had warned him earlier said, "Greater than, you went into the forest, didn't you?" Arav nodded weakly. There was a temple. A mirror. The man shook his head. The mirror of souls. It shows those who are lost. Once you see it, it remembers you. Arav frowned. "What do you mean, remembers me?" The man pointed at Arav's reflection in the jeep's window. It wasn't his face anymore. It was the face of one of the pale villagers he had seen in the mirror. Panicking, Arav rubbed his eyes. When he looked again, his own reflection had returned. He told himself it was just exhaustion, or maybe a hallucination. He decided to leave the village immediately. The road that never ends. He packed his gear and started driving. The dirt road twisted through the forest. After half an hour, he saw the same broken signboard again, Ruhgarh. He frowned. That can't be right. He turned around and drove the opposite way. After another 30 minutes, the same signboard appeared again. No matter which direction he went, he kept ending up in Ruhgarh. When he got out of the jeep, The villagers were waiting for him. The old woman smiled sadly. Greater than, we told you, no one leaves from here. You're one of us now. Arav shouted, this is impossible. I'm not staying here. But his voice echoed strangely, like it wasn't his own. He looked down. The shadow on the ground wasn't moving with him anymore. It was standing still, waving slowly. That's when he realized, the Arav who had left the jeep was no longer human. A week later, a week passed. A rescue team sent by Arav's friends finally reached Ruhgarh. They found his jeep, his bag, and his camera, lying near the forest. When they played the footage, it showed Arav filming the temple and cleaning the mirror. Then, a faint reflection appeared, another Arav behind him, smiling. The video ended with his voice whispering, greater than, if you're watching this, don't come here. No one leaves from here, they just disappear. Months later, a new vlogger named Riya Sharma came across Arav's story online. She thought it was just an urban legend, perfect for her own channel. She decided to visit Ruhgarh. As she drove through the fog, her camera started glitching. A distorted voice came from the speaker, Arav's voice. Greater than, Riya, welcome. She froze. She hadn't told anyone her plan. When she reached the village, a man came to greet her, young, with a familiar smile. She thought she had seen him before. He introduced himself softly, I'm Arav. Let me show you around. No one ever saw Riya again. A few weeks later, her YouTube channel uploaded a new video automatically. Title, greater than, Yahan se koi Bahar nahi Jata, City Gayab ho Jata Hai Episode 2. The thumbnail showed the same mirror. And this time, Riya's face inside it, silently screaming.